of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't lived the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get punked, or some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia. AB skinheads with big giant swastikas. Pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi. And Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in they Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus. The Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves. The IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus. The hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters don't move. Whatever clique you choose, you better stick to your rules. I done seen cats get hit and the force will lift them off their shoes. The gun tower got the power, they will kill you if you move. The gun tower got the power, they will kill you if you move.
Say, what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down! Now, for those of y'all that's new to my page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life, and I served 24 years straight in the California prison system. Let's hop right up into this video. So, a couple of years ago, I did a video on DeAndre Bonds. He's an actor that's been in a lot of movies, Snowfall, Get on the Bus, The Wood, just to name a few, right? And I happened to be at a prison known as Ironwood in the city of Blythe, and we happened to be on C Yard. This was 2003. We were on the same yard. Now, I didn't know him personally, but he was I would say a relatively good acquaintance of one of my good homies. And so I told an incident where, due to the fact that he was an actor, he was a non-affiliate, he definitely was preyed upon, man. And I told the story. So now he's speaking on the interview, so I'm gonna do a reaction to it, man. So let's hop right up into it. Let's get it, man.
So what happened? Because he was claiming that some inmates, they went into your cell and took your shoes and they took some other stuff because you owed money over gambling.
Yeah, that happened. He wasn't.
Like I said, during the time that I made the video, I believe that I alluded to, it was several things that happened that I wasn't going to mention because it was never my intention to make the man look bad, so on and so forth, right? So now you have him in his own words addressing a few of the problems that he encountered in prison.
I'm going to break that down right now. I'm a non-affiliate, never banged, never will. I'm a man, I stand on my own too, as I always have.
Unfortunately, in the California prisons, there's an extremely large gang presence. I definitely would say you have more people than not who are from some gang or affiliated with some gang. Sometimes you have people who don't necessarily gang bang, but they grew up in a neighborhood that is controlled by certain gangs. But when they come to prison, they'll just say, hey, I'm from this particular gang. Unfortunately for DeAndre Bonds, he didn't take that route. He went the straight non-affiliated route. Sometimes in California, prison can be a predacious place, especially for those who are unattached, non-affiliates, because sometimes, you have individuals who feel that, okay, I got 7 or 8 homies with me. This dude don't have any homies with him to back his play. This dude may have some things that I want. And, they prey on people like that sometimes. It's a sad situation, but that's just the truth of the matter.
Selling cigars. This was my hustle in prison. Because, they sell cigars. You could sell 2-for-1 type shit. You know what I mean? So just to keep food on your table. Not that you don't want, but it's a hustle, bro. It's everybody do this shit. You want something? I was doing that. I'm learning about prison. I'm probably a year in. I got about 100 canned goods on my shelf. I got 10 pair of Levi's, 5 pair of Allen Iverson. Different shoes under my bed. I'm doing weird shit, getting another nickname. I'm new to prison. I got a little paper. So, niggas peeping, they watching and they do shit like that. So, a dude that I was fucking with up in prison, I don't want to say no gangs and where they from and all that because it's irrelevant. I don't want to bring no attention to that. A brother I was fucking with, I was cool with. I like the dude as far as his character, how he carried himself, and vice versa. So we clicked. He cool, I'm cool. His celly, I didn't fuck with. I didn't, I don't fuck with your celly. I don't know your celly. But the celly wind up getting word from one of his big homies to, that's an actor, man. He got all that shit in his cell. He don't bang. They come up with plots. Nick know what I'm talking about. If you watching, y'all know. Real niggas know. They ain't gonna.
And that's definitely true, man. Like I mentioned earlier, now if you happen to be in a California prison and you're a non-affiliate, you're not going to necessarily be singled out, right? I believe in this case, due to the fact that this guy was an actor, he was he had a little bit of popularity, and then he's going to visits. When you go to visits, you're going to always have dudes out there looking to see who's coming to visit you. It got back on the yard that, he had some fine, woman coming down the scene. And then unfortunately for him as well, I don't think he was on the yard maybe more than a month, a couple of weeks. And one of the movies he played in happened to come on TV that night. So of course now you got dudes looking at him like, oh man, that's old boy, and of course, you have people in the street, gang members, so on and so forth, jackers, robbers, whoever. They have a bad habit of counting other people's money, right? So now they're assuming this dude got all type of money. This dude is on all these movies. And so, of course, they get the fine idea to rob this dude, man.
Real niggas know. They ain't gonna lie about how niggas prey on try to, until they get off. And I fuck every nigga off to try to prey on me in there. Knock they bitch ass out and they know it. But anyway, so somebody told him, one of his big homies tell him, keep that nigga, basically. And since, they affiliated in gangs and they cellies, they in the same card, one of them with me, the other one don't. So the one that don't, make it up on himself to get a couple other niggas to run with him in my cell. But on the unlock, they got one where you unlock, let you out your cell. It's called an unlock. They let you in your cell, and then you get like one time around, they come out to let you out your cell.
So basically what he's trying to explain is every hour on the hour, they have what is called an unlock. And so those are for the individuals. If you happen to be outside or you're in the building, you're allowed to go in your cell. So the cells are locked, but during the unlock, you have a guard on the floor. He'll start at the first cell. He'll go by the cells. He'll walk along the cells. Now, if you're outside and you want to go in, you stand by the cell. You raise your hand. They'll let you in. So then he'll walk around the entire length of the building, letting people either in or out. If you happen to stay in your cell, you want to come out for the yard, come out to take a shower, come out to use the phone, whatever, this is called the unlock. Then for those people who was maybe outside of the cell and went in, after he walks around, he'll walk around one final time. And then so if you're out of your cell, you can come back in. If you have came out of your cell to come get some water, to do whatever, and you wanted to go back in for the next hour, you can do that as well. So of course, when he walks around the second time, he's either going to let you in or let you out for the final time.
So these niggas ran in my cell, 2 niggas, and one was a lookout on the outside. 2 niggas ran in my cell, and the nigga on the lookout on the outside, but the dumb motherfuckers ran in my cell on the second time around. So they was locked in my cell. This wasn't they didn't come in on the unlock. They came in on the lock. So now them niggas locked in my cell with me, and the other nigga locked out. And they won. One nigga put a knife to my neck, laid me, and another nigga ran in with a pillowcase and started taking shit off my shelf, going under my bed. They doing all this shit. And the nigga saying, you rich, Nick, this ain't nothing to you, Nick, don't worry about nothing, Nick, need more. And they, and I'm like, man, I ain't never been to prison. This is my first time. I ain't never had no shit like this happen in my life to me, bro. Nick robbed me, one and up. Man, so, this shit happened. And by it being the second time around, they locked themselves in my cell. So the Nick on the outside, he goofy as whoever he was. I don't even remember. But the people popped my door. The tower, they popped my door because you got to, and he come to the door, hey, man, they want you outside, man. They want you. He like, what? I'm like, what the He said, you can't have no friends in the cell right now. You can't have no company. I'm like, oh, all right, my bad. I let them niggas out on my mother. I let them niggas out. I could have did some weird, but that ain't no nick like me. Like, I don't get out like that. That ain't my all that. Come on, Nick. They came out. No, Nick had left the bag. Nick dropped the bag. He packed up by the door. This is crazy, bro. This is my first time going to prison. I'm barely 1 year in this bitch. This shit happened. So after he dropped the bag, I walk out, shut my door. I'm mad, bro, because I know what the just happened. And
like I said, you know, unfortunately, it's like that sometimes, you know. This is just one of several incidents that I believe that he was in, you know, because he's describing an incident that took place that they came in his cell and robbed him. When I did the video and I talked about a situation, I believe later on they had moved him out of the cell and put him in the gym. The gym is kind of like a level 2, but it's still on a level 3 yard. And when he was in there, he got into another incident. And like he said earlier, he was in there fighting. He got into a fight with a well-known, a well-liked blood who was from Queen Street. And from the story that came back, you know, to me and some of my homies, he definitely gave the dude a run for his money. That's the thing though, you know, when you're in there and you don't have any homies to support you or something like that, sometimes people will continue to pick on you, you know. And as I mentioned earlier in that video that I done, it's unfortunate, you know, it's unfortunate, man, that he had to experience this, right? Because, you know, it was brothers it was his own race who was preying on him. Now, let's just say 2 or 3 days after those dudes ran in the cell and robbed him, and there happened to be a race riot, and he didn't participate. Then, of course, dudes is going to be looking down on him. They're going to want to beat him up again for not participating in the race riot and helping his people, right? But the question comes to ask, okay, well, man, was I your people the other day when you was robbing me, when y'all ran up in the cell and took all my stuff? And see, that's the unfortunate part about prison. You know, sometimes people want you to be people when it's convenient for them, you know. I believe that he should have been applauded for being able to come from an environment that many of us blacks came from and make it out of that certain situation and get into movies, get into the Hollywood films, you know. Instead of being robbed, being beat up and assaulted, maybe it would have been wiser to try to pick his brain and find out how he accomplished things like that. But once again, prison is a predacious place, and we who were in prison weren't in prison for doing our best thinking. And sometimes the only thing we can think about is, you know, what best suits our needs right now.
That ran in my cell was my homie that I with Sally. The nigga I with, his Sally the one that ran in my door. So he come ask me, word of mouth go fast. Nick see Nick ran in there. They knew to get down before it happened. Them planned, plotted, strategized, all that shit. I didn't know till it happened. So I'm sitting on a bench. I'm hot. I'm mad. On my mama, Nick came up to me because Nick knew what happened. Excuse my language. Brothers came up to me like, man, you want to know? I can't. That's the last thing I want is that, because I know I'm going to use it, bro. Why do I'm trying to go. I want to go home. I just want to do my time, get up out of here, and all this start happening. Nick asked me, do I want a knife? No, I don't want a motherfucking knife. What am I doing?
And so like he was saying right there, because I also mentioned in the story that I told about him, I had a homie who was pretty cool with him. And so the homie was telling him, hey, listen, man, you know, as long as you continue to let them dudes harass you, man, it's going to keep occurring. The homie was telling him this, dudes will not fight for you, but dudes will fight with you if you stand up to these individuals, right? And he ended up deciding to leave the yard. It was best that he leave the yard. You know, my homie Chances was on the line too, and Chances was in favor of giving him a knife. But you know, the sad reality of it is everybody doesn't want a knife. Some people just want to go home. And as I stated in that video, I definitely believe that he made the best decision for himself. Had he took a knife and went and stabbed someone, let's just say he went and stabbed someone and he got away with it. From that point forward, you know, his homies would have continually been on this dude's helmito every time they seen him, every time they ran across him, due to the fact he being a non-affiliate, having no one to support him, he definitely would have encountered problems. Let's say that he doesn't get away with it. Let's say that he stabs a dude. Now he's doing another 3-4 years in prison. Worst case scenario, he kills the dude. Now he came to jail with, I don't know how long it was, 5-6 years, maybe somewhere a little longer. But now he has got himself a life sentence, right? All behind trying to do his time. So I believe he made the best decision for himself. You had many people, and probably myself included at that time when he rolled up, who considered him a coward, but, that's thinking from a gang perspective, that's thinking from a gang member's kit, he was not a gang member, a lot of times us as gang members or former gang members, we are concerned with how we will be viewed by other gang members. And so we're not necessarily sometimes doing what we think is in our best interest. We're doing what's in the best interest to keep us in good standings with other gang members, even if what we plan on doing is the detriment to our well-being, to our life, or to our freedom in the long run. So once again, like I say, I definitely believe he made the right choice. He was able to eventually get out of prison, get back into acting, and so it turned out well for him.
Killing it and stay here forever. So, bro, then the homie that was his cellie came down to me because he heard, word get around, bro. And I'm sitting on the bench and the homie came up to me, man. And he looked at me. And he just looked at me, bro. He said, he didn't say nothing, bro. When he looked at me, he asked me, hey, man, is this I'm hearing? And on my mama, when the nigga looked at me and I didn't answer, he knew it was real. He went back up to that cell, beat that nigga ass. On my mama, beat that nigga ass, and all my shit came back to me. I got all my shit back except a few things.
So, like my homie was telling him, later on when he got into the situation in the gym, there definitely is people who will, help you in your affairs in prison, because everyone is not there to prey on people who are non-affiliates. You have many people in gangs who have soft spots for people who are not in gangs, and they don't want to see people bullied. It's not always a situation that if you are a non-affiliate, it's guaranteed for you to be preyed upon. A lot of people always ask me too, hey, Chill, well, what about if a person is from another state, say Denver or New York or Philadelphia? I have known dudes from other states who was in Crips or Bloods, and they done just fine in prison. So I think a lot of this dude's problem stemmed from, unfortunately for him, he was in a profession to where he was recognized when he came to the yard, and it was automatically assumed that he had money. Unfortunately, everybody in prison is not doing well. Everybody does not have money or does not have the extra amenities that makes prison somewhat a little better to be. And when a person like him has those things, or it appears he has those things, you're definitely going to have individuals who are making plans to relieve him of those possessions.
And after that happened, the whole prison wound up knowing what happened. So the Captain Howell, he was a captain on the yard. He wound up hearing about it. And they know I'm an actor. I was in the newspapers, bro. I hit the papers in the pen. Them niggas coming around showing me in the papers. So he said, man, what's going on, man? I'm like, man. He like, man, we got to get you up out of here. They finna ship me to a whole nother prison. By this time, I heard I had a cousin named Boo Rock on Dio. My cousin Lamont, he on Dior. I'm like, look, man, if you can give me the Dior, I don't gotta go to no other prison. I don't want to go to no another prison. I barely been here. I don't want to go nowhere else. Put me on the yard with my cousin. I got a blood cousin. His name Woo Woo Woo, and he said, you sure, Captain Hal, man? Shout out to Captain Hal. He was like, man, I don't want no issues, like, cause I'm a whatever they call a nigga in prison, an actor, a star, whatever.
Now, what I think he's talking about is after he did get into that final incident on C-Yard, because he had told my homie that he had a cousin on D-Yard, and actually My homie also, I interviewed him and he mentioned that, you know, my homie was telling him, hey man, well listen man, have your cousin send word over here to these dudes, man, to leave you alone. I think it was the Bloods that was giving him a problem, because my homie was telling him, if you happen to leave now, dudes will feel you are fleeing a situation, right? So I believe what he's speaking on is after he made the decision to roll it up and he went to the hole. So I believe what he might be talking about is after he made the decision to roll it up, he ended up seeing the captain in the hole. Captain Howe was a captain that was pretty much respected by a lot of the convicts doing time. You know, Captain Howe had been a correctional officer or working in the prisons for quite a long time. You know, I had a homie who knew Captain Howe when Captain Howe was just a regular CO. Captain Howe probably at that time probably was in his early 60s, maybe about 6'3", 6'4", maybe about 175 pounds, 160 pounds. Real skinny dude, but he was real cool. Had real long dreads, real long gray dreads all the way, you know, down his back and stuff. And he was a extremely fair dude, you know. He was, hey, convict, what are you doing? Get out of here, convict. Come over here, convict. Let me talk to you. He was an extremely fair dude, man. I remember one day on the track in BR, you know, you had two Southsiders approach Captain Howe and say, hey, Captain Howe, man, the guards in our building, the COs in our building, they're trying to move us into a cell. And that cell, the TV is messed up in that cell, the cable, where we connect the cable and stuff. So he called, Captain Howe called a CO over here. And he said, hey, man, go and check and see if the cell they're trying to move him in is messed up. And if that cell is messed up, don't move them into that cell. Captain Howe was fair. You know, I say that to say anybody that's done time, they know that most COs, most sergeants, most guards, they wouldn't have cared. They would have moved those dudes in that cell and let them deal with that problem on their own. You know, if they're taking you from one cell where, you know, everything works up in there and all of a sudden they move you to another cell and it doesn't have any TV, for a person in prison, that is a big issue. You know, a lot of guards have the tendency to pass things on to the next watch. Oh, is that okay? Well, man, listen, I gotta get you moved in that cell before account clears, man. Here, move in the cell. We'll take care of the problem, knowing that they're not gonna take care of the problem. They're gonna go home, and you probably won't get the problem fixed for a week or two. So Captain Howe was extremely fair, and that's what a lot of people respected about him. Anyway, man, this is my reaction to DeAndre Bonds' video. Like I said, you know, I believe he definitely made the right decision for himself not to pick up a knife, not to go stab somebody. He eventually got out, got back into acting, and things turned out for the best for him. Anyway, you already know what it is. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal program.
I ain't never told y'all when I ain't never testify. Thugged it on the main line, I never went to S&Y.